Good evening and welcome to Poetry Out Loud, the National Recitation Contest for high school students. This competition tonight began in the classroom, where students earned a place to compete in tonight's school-wide contest. Our winner this evening will advance to the district competition, which is held at Millersville University. That winner will advance to the state level, and the 50 state winners will assemble in Washington, D.C. at the end of April to compete for scholarships and the glory of winning the poetry contest. Reading High has been a part of Poetry Out Loud since 2007, the second year of the competition. In that time, we have sent 6 students to state competition, and Reading High represented Pennsylvania in 2011 and 2012 at the national competition. In 2011, Devonna Smith finished 3rd in the country. Daphne McMaster was in the top 9 competitors in 2012. But the importance of this program cannot be evaluated simply by the success Reading students have had at the state and national levels. Rather, the importance of Poetry Out Loud is that each participant becomes intimately familiar with 2 poems which will stay in the heart and the mind of that student for many years after high school. This activity is the highest form of learning, the kind which makes a difference in the life of the learner. Poetry Out Loud does not require high-tech resources, expensive equipment, or fancy new methodologies. Poetry Out Loud is an entrance into the worlds of language, emotion, and experience, and it's available to every student. Now, although memorizing and reciting a poem requires only a copy of the poem and a willing learner, the staging of a school competition requires a little bit more effort. This evening, I would like to recognize our judges, Dr. Al Casacedo, Mr. John Ganser, Ms. Jill Sheets, and Dr. Heather Thomas. I would also like to recognize Mr. William Siders and the Knife Light crew who are filming this competition. Special thanks go to Mrs. Lori McGovern, who is tallying the scores and doing the mathematical end of the competition. I'd also like to thank the English teachers at Reading High and at the Citadel for making time in their classes to participate in Poetry Out Loud. A very special thank you to Ms. Susan Wagner, who has come out of retirement to coach our students to help them with their poetic deliveries. I would also like to mention the people who were here since 2007 working on this. Jerry Corenda, 9th grade teacher at the Citadel, Angela Henry, 12th grade teacher at Reading High, and Paige Seckler, English department chair and 11th grade teacher. I would also especially like to thank Ms. Seckler for allowing me to come out of retirement and to come back to be a part of this program that I love. Now, a few housekeeping details. The students who are reciting here can see you and hear you. It is very difficult to stand in front of an audience and recite. Please make sure that you do nothing at all to distract them. You've got to be quieter than at a choir concert, quieter than at a play. Make sure your cell phones are turned off, your feet are not shuffling, and if you happen to have the flu, please go out in the hall if you're going to be coughing. It's disconcerting to the students who have worked so hard to prepare themselves to recite this evening. So I really appreciate it, and I know they appreciate it. Thank you for coming. And very shortly here, our competition will begin. The first round consists of our students each reciting a poem, and it's a randomly determined order. And if everyone is ready, I think we can begin. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Johnny Torres, and I'll be reciting The Greatest Grandeur by Patty Ann Rogers. Some say it's in the reptilian dance of the purple-tongued sand guana, for there the magnificent translation of tenacity into bone and grace occurs. And some declare it to be an expansive desert, solid, rust-orange rock like dusk captured on earth in stone, simply for the perfect contrast it provides to the blue-gray ridge of rain in the distant hills. Some claim the harmonics of shifting electron rings to be most rare, and some the complex motion of 7 sandpipers bisecting the arcs and pitches of come and retreat over the mounting hayfield. Others, for grandeur, choose the terror of lightning peals on prairies, or the tall collapsing cathedrals of stormy seas, because there they feel dwarfed, and appropriately helpless. Others select the serenity of that ceiling cellar of stars they see at night on placid lakes, because there they feel assured, and universally magnanimous. But it is the dark emptiness contained in every next moment that seems to me the most singularly glorious gift. That void which one is free to fill with processions of men bearing burning cedar knots, or with parades of blue horses, belled and ribboned and stepping sideways, with tumbling white-faced mimes, or companies of black-robed choristers, to fill simply with hammered silver teapots, or kiln-dried crockery, tangerine and almond custards, polonaises, polkas, whittling sticks, wailing walls. That space large enough to hold all invented blasphemies and pieties, 10,000 definitions of God, and more, never fully filled, never. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Patricia Paulino, and today I'll be reciting Domestic Situation by Ernest Hilbert. Maybe you've heard about this, maybe not. A man came home and chucked his girlfriend's cat in the wood chipper. This really happened. Dinner wasn't ready on time. A lot of other little things went wrong. He spat on her father, who came out when he learned about it. He also broke her pinky, stole her checks, and got her sister pregnant. But she stood by him, stood strong through it all, because she loved him. She loved him, you see. She actually said that. And then she went and married him. She felt some unique call. Don't try to understand what another person means by love. Don't even bother. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Isabel Gonzalez, and I'll be reciting The Cities Inside Us by Alberto Rios. We live in secret cities, and we travel unmapped roads. We speak words between us that we recognize, but which cannot be looked up. They are our words, They come from very far inside our mouths. You and I, we are the secret citizens of the city inside us. And inside us, there go all the cars we have driven and seen. There are all the people we know and have known. There are all the places that are, but which used to be as well. This is where they went. They did not disappear. We each take a piece through the eye and through the ear. It's loud inside us, in here. And when we speak in the outside world, we have to hope that some of that sound does not come out, that an arm does not reach out in place of the tongue. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jaleesa Cruz, and I will be reciting Testimonial by Rita Dove. Back when the earth was new and heaven just a whisper. Back when the names of things hadn't had time to stick. Back when the smallest breezes melted summer into autumn. When all of the poplars quivered sweetly in rank and file. The world called, and I answered. Each glance ignited to a gaze. I caught my breath and called that life. Swooned between spoonfuls of lemon sorbet. I was pirouette and flourish. I was filigree and flame. How could I count my blessings when I didn't know their names? Back when everything was still to come. Luck leaked out everywhere. I gave my promise to the world, and the world followed me here. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Elizabeth Gonzalez, and I will be reciting The Lamb by Linda Gregg. It was a picture I had after the war. A bombed English church. I was too young to know the word English or war, but I knew the picture. The ruined city still seemed noble. The cathedral with its roof blown off was not less godly. The church was the same, plus rain and sky. Birds flew in and out of the holes God's fist made in the walls. All our desire for love or children is treated like rags by the enemy. I knew so much and sang anyway, like a bird who will sing until it is brought down. When they take away the trees, the child picks up a stick and says, "This is a tree. This is the house and the family, as we might." Through a door of what had been a house, into the field of rubble walks a single lamb, tilting its head, curious, unafraid, hungry. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jesus Lopez, and I'll be reciting Ego by Denise Duhamel. I just didn't get it. Even with the teacher holding an orange, the earth, in one hand, and a lemon, the moon, in the other. Her favorite student, the sun, standing behind her with a flashlight. I just couldn't grasp it. This whole citrus universe, these bumpy planets revolving so slowly. No one could even see themselves moving. I used to think if I could only concentrate hard enough, I could be the one person to feel what no one else could. Sense a small tug from the ground, a sky shift, the earth changing gears. Even though I was only one mini speck on a speck, even though I was merely a pinprick and one goosebump on the orange. I was sure then I was the most specially perceptively sensitive. I was sure then my mother was the only mother to snap, "The world doesn't revolve around you." The earth was fragile and mostly water, just the way the orange was mostly water if you peeled it. Just the way I was mostly water if you peeled me. Looking back on that third grade science demonstration, I could understand why some people gave up on fame or religion or cures. Especially people who have an understanding of the excruciating crawl of the world, who have a well-developed sense of spatial reasoning and the tininess that it is to be one of us. But not me. Even now, I wouldn't mind being God, the force who spins the planets, the way I spin a globe, a basketball, a yo-yo. I wouldn't mind being that teacher who chooses the fruit, or that favorite kid who gives the moon its glow. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jimmy Ortiz, and I will be reciting The True Blue American by Delmore Schwartz. Jeremiah Dixon was a true blue American, for he was a little boy who understood America, for he felt that he must think about everything, because that's all there is to think about. Knowing immediately the intimacy of truth and comedy, knowing intuitively how a sense of humor was a necessity for one and for all who live in America. Thus natively and naturally, when on an April Sunday in an ice cream parlor, Jeremiah was requested to choose between a chocolate sundae and a banana split, he answered unhesitatingly, having no need to think of it, being a true blue American, determined to continue as he began, rejecting the either-or of Kierkegaard and many another European, refusing to accept alternatives, refusing to believe the choice of between, rejecting selection, denying dilemma, electing absolute affirmation, knowing in his breast the infinite and the gold of the endless frontier, the deathless West. Both. I will have them both, declared this true blue American in Cambridge, Massachusetts on an April Sunday, instructed by the great department stores, by the 5 and 10, taught by Christmas, by the circus, by the vulgarity and grandeur of Niagara Falls and the Grand Canyon, tutored by the grandeur, vulgarity, and infinite appetite gratified and shining in the darkness of the light on Saturdays at the double bills of the Moon Pictures. The consummation of advertisements of the imagination of the light, which is, as it was, the infinite belief in infinite hope of Columbus, Barnum, Edison, and Jeremiah Dixon. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Louis Barrero, and I will be reciting Calling Him Back from Layoff by Bob Hickok. I called a man today. After he said hello and I said hello, came a pause, during which it would have been confusing to say hello again. So I said, "How are you doing?" And guess what? He said, "Fine," and wondered aloud how I was. And it turns out, I'm okay. He was on the couch watching cars painted with ads for Budweiser, follow cars painted with ads for Tide around the Novel. That's a metaphor for life, because most of us run out of gas and settle for getting drunk in the stands and shouting at someone in a t-shirt, "We want crowd on our dog." I said he could have his job back, and during the pause that followed, his whiskers scrubbed the mouthpiece clean, and his breath passed in and out, in a tidal fashion popular with mammals, until he broke through with the words, "How soon? thank you, oh my God, which crossed his lips and drove through the wires on the backs of ions as one long word, as one hard prayer of relief meant to be heard by the sky. When he began to cry, I tried with the shape of my silence to say I understood, but each confession of fear and poverty was more awkward than what you learn in the shower. After he hung up, I went outside and sat with one hand in the bower of the other and thought, if I turn my head to the left, it changes the song of the oriole. And if I give a job to one stomach, then other forks are naked. And if tonight a steak sizzles in his kitchen, do these 7 other people staring at their phones hear? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Justin Mendoza, and I'll be reciting Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas. Do not go gentle into that good night, for old age should burn and rave at close of day, rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay, rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men, who caught and sang the sun in flight, and learned too late they grieved it on its way, do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men, near death, who see with blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay, rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray, do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Aaron Preston. Tonight I will be reciting No Moon Floods the Memory of That Night by Etheridge Knight. No moon floods the memory of that night. Only the rain I remember. The cold rain against our faces and mixing with your tears. Only the rain I remember. The cold rain. In your mouth, soft and warm. No moon, no stars, no jagged pane of lightning. Only my impotent tongue and the red rage within my brain, knowing that this chilling rain was our forever, even as I tried to explain. A revolutionary is a doomed man with no certainties but love and history. But our children must grow up with certainties, and they will make the revolution. By example, we must show the way so plain that our children can go neither right nor left, but straight to freedom. No. You said, and you left. No moon floods the memory of that night. Only the rain I remember, the cold rain. In praying that like the rain returns to the sky, you would return to me again. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alira Parker, and I'll be reciting Request for Toy Piano by Tony Hoagland. Play the one about the family of the ducks, where the ducks go down to the river, and one of them thinks that the water will be cold, but then they jump in anyway and like it and splash around. No, I must play the one about the nervous man from Palestine in row 14 with a brown bag in his lap in which a gun is hidden in a sandwich. Play the one about the handsome man and woman standing on the steps of her apartment and how the darkness and her perfume and the beating of their hearts conjoin to make them feel like leaping from the edge of chance. No, I should play the one about the hard rectangle of the credit card hidden in the man's back pocket and how the woman spent an hour plucking out her brows and how her perfume was made from the destruction of 100 flowers. Then play the one about the flower industry, in which the migrant workers curse their own infected hands from tossing sheaves of roses and carnations into the back of refrigerated trucks. No, I must play the one about the single yellow daffodil standing on my kitchen table, whose cut stem draws the water upwards so the plant is flushed with conviction that the water was sent to find and raise it up from somewhere so deep inside the earth, not even flowers can remember. Thank you.
Hello, my name is April Asencios, and I'll be reciting Calling Him Back from Layoff by Bob Hickok. I called a man today. After he said hello and I said hello, came a pause during which it would have been confusing to say hello again. So I said, "How are you doing?" And guess what? He said fine and wondered aloud how I was. And it turns out I'm okay. He was on the couch watching cars painted with ads for Budweiser follow cars painted with ads for Tide around an oval. That's a metaphor for life, because most of us run out of gas and settle for getting drunk in the stands and shouting at someone in a t-shirt, "We want kraut on our dog." I said he could have his job back. And during the pause that followed, his whiskers scrubbed the mouthpiece clean, and his breath passed in and out in a tidal fashion popular with mammals, until he broke through with the words, "How soon? Thank you, oh my God," which crossed his lips and drove through the wires on the backs of ions as one long word, as one hard prayer of relief meant to be heard by the skies. When he began to cry, I tried with the shape of my silence to say I understood, but each confession of fear and poverty was more awkward than what you learn in the shower. After he hung up, I went outside and sat with one hand in the bower of the other and thought. If I turn my head to the left, it changes the song of the oriole. And if I give a job to one stomach, other forks are naked. And if tonight a steak sizzles in his kitchen, do the 7 other people staring at their phones hear? Thank you.
Hello, I'm Anel Cordero, and I'll be reciting One Art by Elizabeth Bishop. The art of losing isn't hard to master. So many things seem filled with the intent to be lost that their loss is no disaster. Lose something every day, accept the fluster of lost door keys, the hour badly spent. The art of losing isn't hard to master. Then practice losing farther, losing faster. Places and names and where it was you meant to travel. None of these will bring disaster. I lost my mother's watch, and look, my last or next last of 3 loved houses went. The art of losing isn't hard to master. I lost 2 cities, lovely ones, and vaster. Some realms I owned, 2 rivers, a continent. I missed them, but it wasn't a disaster. Even losing you, the joking voice, gesture I love, I shan't have lied. It's evident the art of losing is not too hard to master, though it may look like, write it, like disaster. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Leslie Martinez, and I will be reciting Fairy Tale Logic by A. E. Stallings. Fairy tales are full of impossible tasks. Gather the chin hairs of a man-eating goat, or cross a sulfuric lake in a leaky boat. Select the prince from a row of identical masks. Tiptoe up to a dragon where it basks, and snatch its bone. Count dust specks, mote by mote. Or learn the phone directory by rote. Always, it's impossible what someone asks. You have to fight magic with magic. You have to believe that you have something impossible up your sleeve. The language of snakes. Perhaps an invisible cloak. An army of ants at your beck, or a lethal joke. The will to do whatever must be done. Marry a monster. Hand over your firstborn son. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Astrid Perez, and today I will be reciting My Brother the Artist at 7 by Philip Levine. As a boy, he played alone in the fields behind our block. 6 frame houses holding 6 immigrant families, the parents speaking only gibberish to their neighbors. Without the kids, they couldn't say good morning and be understood. Little wonder he learned early to speak to himself, to tell no one what truly mattered. How much can matter to a kid of 7? Everything. The whole world can be his. Just after dawn, he sneaks out to hide in the wild, bleached grasses of August and pretends he's grown up. Someone complete in himself without the need for anyone. A warrior from the ancient places our fathers fled years before. Those magic places. Kiev, Odessa, the Crimea, Port Said, Alexandria, Lisbon, the Canaries, Caracas, Galveston. In the damp grass, he recites the names over and over in a hushed voice while the sun climbs into the locust trees to waken the houses. The husbands leave for work. The women return to bed. The kids bend to porridge and milk. He advances slowly, eyes fixed, an animal or a god, while beneath him, the earth holds its breath. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Rory Baez, and I'll be reciting Every Single Day by John Straley, after Raymond Carver's Hummingbird. Suppose I said the word springtime, and I wrote the words King Salmon on a piece of paper and mailed it to you. When you opened it, would you remember the afternoon we spent together in the yellow boat? When the early whales were feeding and we caught our first fish of the year? Or would you remember that time off Cape Flattery when you were a little girl? Your father smoking, telling stories as he ran the boat. Then a tug and zing of that very first fish spooling off into the gray-green world. You laughing and brushing back your hair before setting the hook. I know I'm hard to understand sometimes, particularly when you are standing at the post office with only a piece of paper saying King Salmon on it. But just take this as a promissory note, that electric tug, that thrill pulling your mind into deep waters, how I feel about you every single day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. At this point, we will have a short intermission while our judges and tabulators determine who will advance to the next round. While that is going on, please join us at the back of the auditorium for some refreshments. Thank you. Welcome to the second part of our competition. The judges have rendered their verdict, and after considerable mathematical calculations here, I have a list of the students who will advance to the next round. Lest you think we have mathematical difficulties, we did experience a tie score, so there will be 11 students competing in the final round. I am listing them not in the order of their scores, but in the order in which they competed in the first round, which will be the same order as the second round. So if you're all ready, Patricia Paulino, Isabel Gonzalez, Jalitza Cruz, Elizabeth Gonzalez, Jesus Lopez, Jimmy Ortiz, Luis Borrero, Aaron Preston, Anel Cordero, Leslie Martinez, and Astrid Perez. Those of you who are advancing to the next round, please take your positions behind the auditorium. The rest of you are welcome to stay in the auditorium and watch the rest of the competition. And at the conclusion of this round, we will see a video of our last year's champion while the judges and the computational whizzes are coming to our conclusions. So at this point, if everyone is ready, we will dim our lights and head into the second part of the competition. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Patricia Paulino, and today I will be reciting Isla by Virgil Suarez. In Los Angeles, I grew up watching The Three Stooges, The Little Rascals, Speed Racer, and the Godzilla movies. Those my mother called Los Monstruos. And though I didn't yet speak English, I understood why such a creature would, upon being woken up from its centuries-long slumber, rise and destroy Tokyo's buildings, cars, people. I understood by the age of 12 what it meant to be unwanted, exiled, how you move from one country to another where nobody wants you, nobody knows you. And I sat in front of the TV, transfixed by the snow fizz in our old black and white. And when Godzilla bellows his eardrum-crushing growl, I scream back, this victory holler from one so rejected and cursed to another. When the monster whipped its tail and destroyed, I threw a pillow across my room. Each time, my mother stormed into the room and asked me what I thought I was doing throwing things at the wall. Ese monstruo, esa isla, she'd say. That monster, that island. And I knew she wasn't talking about the movie. She meant her country, mine, that island in the Caribbean we left behind. Itself, a reptile-looking mass on each map. On my globe, a crocodile-like creature rising again, eating us so completely. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Isabel Gonzalez, and I'll be reciting Love Song by Dorothy Parker. My own dear love, he is strong and bold, and he cares not what comes after. His words ring sweet as a chime of gold, and his eyes are lit with laughter. He is jubilant as a flag unfurled. Oh, a girl, she'd not forget him. My own dear love, he is all my world, and I wish I'd never met him. My love, he's mad, and my love, he's fleet. And a wild young wood thing bore him. The ways are fair to his roaming feet, and the skies are sunlit for him. As harshly sweet to my heart he seems as the fragrance of acacia, my own dear love. He is all my dreams, and I wish he were in Asia. My love runs by like a day in June, and he makes no friends of sorrows. He'll tread his galloping rigadoon in the pathway of the morrows. He'll live his days where the sunbeams start, nor could storm or wind uproot him. My own dear love, he is all my heart, and I wish somebody'd shoot him. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jaleesa Cruz, and I'll be reciting Sonnet 29 by William Shakespeare. When in disgrace with fortune in men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself, and curse my fate, wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy, contented least. Yet, in these thoughts, myself almost despising, haply I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day arising from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gates. For thy sweet love remembered, such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Gonzalez, and I will be reciting The End of Science Fiction by Liesl Muller. This is not fantasy. This is our life. We are the characters who have invaded the moon, who cannot stop their computers. We are the gods who can unmake the world in 7 days. Both hands are stopped at noon. We are beginning to live forever in lightweight aluminum bodies with numbers stamped on our backs. We dial our words like Muzak. We hear each other through water. The genre is dead. Invent something new. Invent a man and a woman naked in a garden. Invent a child that will save the world. A man who carries his father out of a burning city. Invent a spool of thread that leads a hero to safety. Invent an island on which he abandons the woman who saved his life with no loss of sleep over his betrayal. Invent us as we were before our bodies glittered and we stopped bleeding. Invent a shepherd who kills a giant. A girl who grows into a tree. A woman who refuses to turn her back on the past and is changed to salt. A boy who steals his brother's birthright and becomes the head of a nation. Invent real tears, hard love, slow-spoken ancient words, difficult as a child's first steps across a room. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jesus Lopez, and I'll be reciting The Way It Sometimes Is by Henry Taylor. At times, it is like watching a face you've just met, trying to decide who it reminds you of. No one, surely, whom you ever hated or loved, but yes, somebody. Somebody. You watch the face as it turns and nods, showing you, at certain angles, a curve of the lips or a lift of the eyebrow that is exactly right. And still, the lost face eludes you. Now this face is talking, and you hear a sound in the voice, the accent on certain words. Yes, a phrase. You barely recall sitting outside by a pool or a campfire, remarking a peculiar, recurring expression. 2 syllables, wasn't it? Doorknob, bathroom, Shawcross. What the hell kind of word is Shawcross? A name? Not the right one. A couple of syllables that could possibly be a little like something you may once have heard. So the talk drifts, and you drift. Sneaking glances, pounding your brain. Days later, a face occurs to you, and yes, there is a resemblance. That odd word, though, or phrase, is gone. Must have been somebody else. Yes, it's like that at times. Something is. Maybe. And there are days when you can almost say what it is. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jimmy Ortiz, and I will be reciting After Working 60 Hours Again for What Reason by Bob Hickok. The best job I had was moving a stone from one side of the road to the other. This required a permit, which required a bribe. The bribe took all my salary. Yet, because I hadn't finished the job, I had no salary. And to pay the bribe, I took a job moving the stone the other way. And to pay the bribe, I took a job moving the stone the other way. Because the official wanted his bribe, he gave me a permit for the second job. When I pointed out that the work would best be completed if I did nothing, he complimented my brain and wrote a letter to my employer, suggesting promotion on stationery bearing the wings of a raptor spread in flight over a mountain smaller than the bird. My boss, fearing my intelligence, paid me to sleep on the sofa and take lunch with the official who required a bribe to keep anything from being done. When I told my parents, they wrote my brother to come home from university to be slapped on the back of the head. Dutifully, he arrived and bowed to receive his instruction, at which point sense entered his body and he asked what I could do by way of a job. I pointed out there were stones everywhere trying not to move, All it took was a little gumption to be the man who didn't move them. It was harder explaining the intricacies of not obtaining a permit to not do this. Just yesterday, he got up at dawn and shaved, as if the lack of hair on his face has anything to do with the appearance of food on an empty table. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Luis Barrero, and I will be reciting Broken Promises by David Kirby. I have met them in dark alleys, limping and one-armed. I have seen them playing cards under a single light bulb and tried to join in, but they refused me, rudely, knowing I would only let them win. I have seen them in the foyers of theaters, coming back late from the interval, long after the others have taken their seats. And in deserted shopping malls, late at night, peering at things they can never buy. And I have found them wandering in a wood where I too have wandered. This morning I caught one, small and stupid, too slow to get away. It was only a promise I had made to myself once, and then forgot, but it screamed and kicked at me and ran to join the others, who looked at me with reproach in their long, sad faces. When I drew near them, they scurried away, even though they will sleep in my yard tonight. I hate them for their ingratitude. I, who have kept countless promises, as dead now as Shakespeare's children. You bastards, I scream. You have to love me. I gave you life. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Aaron Preston. This evening I will be reciting Those Winter Sundays by Robert Hayden. Sundays too, my father got up early and put his clothes on in the blue, black cold. Then, with cracked hands that ached from labor in the weekday weather, made bank fires blaze. No one ever thanked him. I'd wake and hear the cold splintering, breaking. When the rooms were warm, he'd call, and slowly I would rise and dress, fearing the chronic angers of that house, speaking indifferently to him who had driven out the cold and polished my good shoes as well. What did I know? What did I know of love's austere and lonely offices? Thank you.
Hello, I'm Anel Cordero, and I'll be reciting Ode by Arthur O'Shaughnessy. We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams, wandering by lone sea breakers and sitting by desolate streams. World losers and world forsakers, on whom the pale moon gleams. Yet we are the movers and the shakers of the world forever, it seems. With wonderful deathless ditties, we build up the world's great cities, and out of fabulous story, we fashion an empire's glory. One man with a dream at pleasure shall go forth and conquer a crown, and three with new songs measure can trample an empire down. We in the ages lying in the buried past of the earth built Nineveh with our sighing and Babel itself with our mirth. and o'erthrew them with prophesying to ode the new world's worth. For each age is a dream that is dying, or one that is coming to birth. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Leslie Martinez, and I will be reciting Recuerdo by Edna St. Vincent Millay. We were very tired. We were very merry. We had gone back and forth all night on the ferry. It was bare and bright and smelled like a stable, but we looked into a fire. We leaned across the table. We lay on a hilltop underneath the moon, and the whistles kept blowing, and the dawn came soon. We were very tired. We were very merry. We had gone back and forth all night on the ferry. And you ate an apple, and I ate a pear. From a dozen of each we had bought somewhere. And the sky went wan, and the wind came cold, and the sun rose, dripping a bucket full of gold. We were very tired. We were very merry. We had gone back and forth all night on the ferry. We hailed, "Good morrow, mother," to a shawl-covered head, and bought a morning paper, which neither of us read. And she wept, "God bless you," for the apples and pears, and we gave her all our money, but our subway fares. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Aster Perez, and tonight I will be reciting Isla by Virgil Suarez. In Los Angeles, I grew up watching The Three Stooges, The Little Rascals, Speed Racer, and the Godzilla movies. Those my mother called Los Monstros. And though I didn't yet speak English, I understood why such a creature would, upon being woken up from its centuries-long slumber, rise and destroy Tokyo's buildings, cars, people. I understood by the age of 12 what it meant to be unwanted, exiled, how you move from one country to another where nobody wants you, nobody knows you. And I sat in front of the TV, transfixed by the snow fizz of our old black and white. And when Godzilla bellows his eardrum-crushing growl, I scream back, this victory holler from one so rejected and cursed to another. When the monster whipped his tail and destroyed, I threw a pillow across my room. Each time, my mother stormed into the room and asked me what I thought I was doing throwing things at the walls. Ese monstruo, esa isla, she'd say. That monster, that island. And I knew she wasn't talking about the movie. She meant her country, mine. That island in the Caribbean we left behind. Itself, a reptile-looking mass on each map. On my globe, a crocodile-like creature rising again, eating us so completely. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. This concludes this part of our competition, and while our judges and tabulators are working, we would like to present a little video here of highlights of our last year's champion. And I'd like to thank Mr. Thomas Hughes for his assistance in this and the entire evening.
Hello, my name is Daphne McMaster, and I will be reciting Candles by Carl Dennis. If on your grandmother's birthday you burn a candle to honor her memory, you might think of burning an extra to honor the memory of someone who never met her, a man who may have come to the town she lived in, looking for work and never found it. Picture him taking a stroll one morning after a month of grief with the want ads to refresh himself in the park before moving on. Suppose he notices on the gravel path the shards of a green glass bottle that your grandmother, then still a girl, will be destined to step on when she wanders barefoot away from her school picnic if he doesn't stoop down and scoop the mess up with the want ad section and carry it to a trash can.
I will get right to the point and let you know that representing Reading High School at Millersville this year in the 2012 competition will be Daphne McMaster.
Daphne McMaster, Reading School District, Berks County.
Hello, I will be reciting Spring by Gerard Manley Hopkins. Nothing is so beautiful as spring when weeds and wheels shoot long and lovely and lush. Thrush's eggs look little low heavens, and thrush through the echoing timber does so rinse and ring the ear. It strikes like lightnings to hear him sing. The glassy pear tree leaves and blooms, they brush the descending blue. That blue is all in a rush with richness. The racing lambs, too, have fared their fling. What is all this juice and all this joy? A strain of the earth's sweet being in the beginning in Eden garden. Have, get before it cloy, before it cloud, Christ Lord, and sour with sinning, innocent mind, and May Day in girl and boy most. O maid child, thy choice, and worthy the winning. Thank you.
The first place in our Pennsylvania 2012 Poetry Out Loud Championship goes to Daphne McMaster from Reading. Congratulations.
Coming up next, Daphne R. McMaster from Pennsylvania. Daphne is a senior at Reading Senior High School.
Hello, I will be reciting Candles by Carl Dennis. If on your grandmother's birthday you burn a candle to honor her memory, you might think of burning an extra to honor the memory of someone who never met her. A man who may have come to the town she lived in looking for work and never found it. Picture him taking a stroll one morning after a month of grief with the want ads to refresh himself in the park before moving on. Innocent mind and May Day and girl and boy most. O maid child, thy choice, and worthy the winning. Thank you.
This is my favorite part. I feel like I have all the power here. And instead of, going like 10th runner-up, I don't do that. I will start from the top, representing Reading High at the 2013 competition will be Aaron Preston. And our first runner-up, should Aaron, say, get hit by a meteorite or something amazing like that, is Jesus Lopez. I would like to have all of our student participants please come to the stage so that we can award you your certificates for participation. And I know that people don't like to hear it, but you know what? You really are all winners. You all know a poem, 2 poems, and it's a wonderful privilege to be here and hear you recite.